We're back. So we've done a little bit of burning, letting things sit, stay safe, stay alive. Let's go. So, see if I can get you to see what I see. Hopefully this camera angle doesn't get all jacked up. I'm not the smartest. I'll definitely not disagree with anybody saying that. But what I made was a little jig. Yes, I have a little Irish in me, but it's not what I'm talking about. It's so that it's easily recreatable-ish. I'm sure some of the other woodworking YouTubers will go out there and tell you, well, the jig comes from the 14th century, which is cool. I love history, but I mean, come on now. It's a tool. It's not pretty, but it's a tool. It's for the shop. It is what it is. There it was. Me and this goat. Me and this goat. I hope you can hear me. If you can't hear me, I'll have to figure this out. Maybe subtitles will be put in there. I don't know. Anyway, so 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I will do that multiple times to make sure I have the correct order. So the thing you really, really, truly want to do here is you want to have a 90 degree, right? That's what you gotta have. You gotta have 90 degree. Oh, come on, man. I got packing tape on there. Yep, 90 degrees. And why is that important, kids? Because it has to be square. If it ain't square, you better not dare. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some glue up. But instead, and I actually have packing tape down here because glue doesn't stick very well to packing tape. And that's wood underneath, which usually stays pretty flat, which is what you want. You want flat. So, how we're being back in the Army, man, I couldn't handle it when people would say the word orientated. Like, for the love of all mankind, it's oriented or orient. And I'm not talking about Asia. I'm talking about positioning. You got to position things correctly, right? All right. So, best thing to do, because you want it turned over on its face down. Okay, face down. Ooh. That's not me, that's the packing tape. So what you want to do is go this way so that you got your union still lined up correctly, right? And all of your stripes in the order that you want them in. I almost feel like this is like one of those cooking shows. Today we're going to take a little sherry and add a little bit of sherry for the recipe, and a little bit of sherry for me, and a little bit of sherry for me. Who is that? Was that Julia Childs? That one was awesome. Talk about one heck of a masterpiece. Just her. As a person was a masterpiece. And then we do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13. Okay. Then what we do we have everything. This is our base, right? Number 1. So everything has to be turned because, right, it's gonna go. So we put a little bit of glue here on the bottom edge because we really don't want the squeeze out on the front, on the top, okay? So we turn everything, we orientate it all the right way, the same way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, do all that. Get a little glue. All my glue's over her.
This is pay no attention to the wannabe carpenter / woodworker off screen.
I got multiple different glue bottles. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a little chilly. We're going to turn the heater on. One of them. Heater. There we go. Come on now, James. Be smarter than the heater, bro. Come on, man. Alright. Glue. It says 2. This is Type Bond 2. This is a glue bot. Descriptions in the links below. Not really. It's a glue bot. Go on Amazon or wherever. Man, they are awesome. Tell you what. Man, who? Alright. Because it's like all you gotta do is squeeze. No matter what position you're in. It's a little cold out here, which is why it's kind of taking a minute to get up there, but there's the glue. Okay. So, some people use rollers. I have their own rollers. I use what God gave me, which is my booger fingers. Alright. A little bit of glue. Can't see this, stick around. I might figure out how to do this one day. I always like to put my extra glue there. Alright, and a little bit more in some places. Alright, well, alright, it is what it is. So there we are. Then what we do is we will take each one, and put that together. Now, what I actually will end up doing is I will have a couple of cauls on either side. So that way I'm not clamping. I'll actually use different pieces. These are just handy. But that way when you use your clamps, you're not clamping directly onto the wood because you want that to still remain as good as you can get it, right? As party as it can be. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of gluing. Yeah, I'll be back. We're back. Okay, we got everything all glued. Whoa, we got everything all glued up. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put some clamping pressure. So what you do basically is just get everything lined up because your union 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is right here, right? So you gotta have everything lined up that way because originally we had everything lined up that way. So and yes, I have some Harbor Freight. Hang on a second here. We'll make a little extra room. That's one of my calls. Okay, still move it. Get it bumped. You gotta reposition. Keep it in line. Pull out your spacers, fits down in there pretty nice. Just enough just to barely hold it on. Right? When you do that, it has a tendency to start to want to bow. So, a little glue, a little glue. So what you have to do is to, usually what I would do, but I don't want to right now because it's a little early and I don't want to turn on the air compressor because it's really loud. But what I would actually do is go ahead and put my backing strips on here, because then it would make everything a little bit flatter, a little bit nicer, a little bit gooder, if you will. So, I'm going to do something a little different. Don't tell me that ain't going to reach all the way. You goober. I knew that. Okay, whatever. But that's cool. We're there. For the most part, we are good. I'll probably put these here in a little bit too. But now I have a piece of wood down here somewhere that will fit. That ain't it. Huh. Did y'all get that? Oh, come on, James. Be smarter than the wood. I'm not sure that's possible. We're gonna try that. And hello. We're gonna try that. All right. So what we're gonna do with these. That's weird. It was at the right. I don't know if you can see this or not. Oh. There we go. Okay, so what we're doing is just using these cawls, right, to make it a little bit gooder. Okay. Like I said, if it wasn't too early, I would show you how it does, how it works. But what I would do is actually have my handy dandy little Harbor Freight nail gun, because I have some things from Harbor Freight and I have some things not from Harbor Freight. Just depends on what it is. Some things you need a little bit of quality. Some things, like ketchup. I like the good ketchup. My wife's like, it's ketchup. I'm like, no. Like Kleenexes. I like the Kleenex brand. I don't want the kind of just like tear up in my hand when I'm trying to wipe the boogers off, you know, or whatever. I mean, it's just look. got to have some good things in my life besides my wife and my kids and her bad dogs. So anyway, no big deal here. Doesn't need a whole bunch of pressure, just enough. Just enough. And then, oh, come on now. Be smarter than the stuff that you're working with. There's that. Not too much pressure. Just the right amount. Alright, and then for good measure, just to make a show, just to make a show. Get your stuff together, boy. Alright. Everything should still be good. It's all nice and lined up here. You know what they say. Stay safe. Don't be a turkey. Me and that goat. We'll be back later, and I won't look over here. I gotta quit looking over here. I gotta look over here because this is like hard not to see myself because, I mean, look at this. All right, we'll be back later. All right. Stay safe, stay alive. We're back, kids. Okay, we're gonna look at this after the glue up. And I got some stuff that needs to get done with household 6. And that means that I will be doing that, and then I'll be looking at this a little bit later. But I wanted to see how this glue up went, because Cedar is one of those kind of a softer boards, softer, kinder, and gentler, if you will. So because of that, I'll tell you what, man, for just all around clamps and whatnot for woodworking or heck anything. Bremen, Harbor Freight, not too expensive. I'm trying to remember what these are. Same thing, Harbor Freight. I mean, you know, look, they're not perfect, but I tell you what, they're not bad. And they're not like $4,000. Uh-oh, got a little stickage. I hate stickage. No big deal. And so far so good. Mama gonna be liking it. Look at that. And then what I'll do is I will probably take this off with some gosh, what do they call that? Wax paper, but you know, craft paper, whatever the heck they call that crap. And then because then what that will allow me to do is when I'm carving the stars, each one, it'll keep some of the stuff from getting on the wood. And so you got a little squeeze out here, as you can tell. A lot of that will just come right up like that. Or this is a good one. It's a paint scraper. I mean, it's like $2. It's stiff. Just gently clean it up. See, come right up. You just gotta make sure you don't dig into the wood too much, because it does happen. The good thing is again, each flag is unique. And then what we'll actually do after we carve the stars, because I have we'll actually trim that up too. I've got a little Lazy Susan thing that I made. That way, when I have it on, my flag's on there, I can hit each angle, because when you're carving, you want to go certain angles. You just don't want to do, because it's just counterproductive time-wise. So, yep, we will do that, and we'll be back later on, kids.